Welcome to part 6 of conscious creation in the Intelligent Observer. I ended the last lecture with a problem. I said that to respond to life as one whole person with your full strength, the different parts of you have to be pulling in the same direction. And then I admitted the hard truth that for most of us they are not. Your mind wants one thing while your heart quietly wants another. Your body drags its feet when your intentions are racing ahead. Part of you commits to the goal while another part, somewhere underneath, is busy sabotaging it. This is why so many people work so hard and move so little. They are not lazy, they are divided. So this lecture is about the great skill of gathering yourself back into one piece. Learning to align the layers of your being so that they stop fighting each other and finally start working together. And when that happens, your power to create multiplies in a way you have to feel to believe. Let me give you the central image first because it makes everything else clear. Think of ordinary light. It is scattered, falling in every direction at once, and so it is soft and harmless. You can wave your hand through it all day. Now take that very same light and bring it into alignment, every wave moving in the same direction in step, and you have a laser, something that can cut through steel. Nothing was added, no extra light was poured in. The only change was alignment. The same amount of energy organized in one direction instead of scattered becomes almost unrecognizably powerful. And you are exactly the same. Most people are diffused light, their attention, their energy, their emotion, their effort, all pulling in different directions, mostly canceling each other out. The aligned person is a laser, same life, same hours, same raw material, organized. Now the teacher's mapped out exactly which parts of us need to come into alignment, and I find this map enormously useful. The old teaching describes a human being as having 4 fundamental dimensions: body, mind, emotion, and energy. And it says that your ability to do anything in this world depends on how well you can harness these 4 toward a single goal. Most people fail to create what they want, not because the world refused them, but because their own 4 dimensions were arguing. The mind says yes, while the emotion says, I am afraid. The body says, I am too tired. The energy is leaking out through 100 small anxieties. And the teaching points to the mind as the lever, because the mind is the one you can organize first. Bring the mind to a certain level of organization, and it will in turn organize the other 3. Point the mind clearly in one direction, hold the whole system there, unwavering for a certain period of time. And the old teaching says that what you wish for begins to take shape, sometimes so smoothly that it feels as if it happened without you having to force a single thing. Now I want you to catch the part of that teaching that most people rush past because it is the part that keeps it honest. The whole thing rests on one small demanding word: unwavering, held steady for a certain period. And here's the question that exposes us. How many of us can hold a single clear intention with no inner contradiction for even a few days? We say we want to build something, and the next morning a wave of doubt tells us to play it safe. We set a goal at night, and by afternoon a quiet fear is whispering, what if I fail? That wavering is the leak. That is the diffused light. So the power was never really in magic. The power was always in inner unity, in becoming so undivided that your whole system points one way and stays there. The reason it works is not that the universe rewards wishing. It is that an undivided human being is an astonishing force, and almost nobody ever becomes one because almost nobody ever resolves the war inside themselves. That resolution is the work. The great teacher said this over and over in different words. One of them gave the fiercest version of it. Take up one idea, the teaching goes. Make that single idea your whole life. Think of it, dream of it, live on it. Let your brain and your muscles and your nerves, every part of your body, be soaked in that one idea and leave every other idea alone. That, it says, is the way to success. The old masters believed concentration was the real difference between an ordinary person and a great one, because the concentrated person stops leaking their force in 100 directions and pours all of it into one. Let me give you a slightly richer map of the layers, because the old yogic science went deeper than 4 dimensions. It described 5 sheaths, 5 layers of the self, nested one inside the other. The outermost is the physical body, the one built and sustained by food. Within that is the layer of vital energy, the prana, the life force, and the breath. Within that is the layer of the mind, with its thoughts and emotions and perceptions. Deeper still is the layer of intellect and wisdom, the part that discerns and decides and knows why something matters. And at the core is the layer of bliss, the subtle causal self, closest to your true being. To live aligned means each of these is in service of your direction. The body and its habits support the goal. The energy is strong and flowing toward it, not blocked or drained. The mind is focused on it rather than doubting it. The intellect is clear and convinced about why it matters, which gives you resolve. And the deepest self quietly says, yes, this is right, this carries a feeling of joy. When all 5 line up, the old teachers said you have your maximum energy moving into creation, and life itself seems to begin cooperating with you. And here is something practical that follows from this map. The teachers notice that the breath and the energy are the bridge between the body and the mind. One ancient text describes the mind as a bird tied to the prana by a cord, so that wherever the energy goes, the mind follows. This is why working with the breath can settle a restless mind faster than any amount of arguing with it. We will go deep into these breath practices later in the series. For now, simply know that if you feel scattered or anxious about your direction, you do not always have to fix it from the level of thought. You can sometimes steady the whole system from the level of breath and energy, and the mind comes to rest along with it. But I have to add one warning, because alignment is easy to misunderstand as a kind of inner tyranny. Alignment does not mean crushing the parts of you that resist. It does not mean bullying your fearful emotion into silence or forcing your tired body to obey. We learned earlier that you cannot do anything with your mind by force. Alignment is not suppression. It is harmonization. It is sitting with the frightened part and understanding it, educating the doubting part, caring for the body so it has energy to give. And all of this happens under the guidance of the witness we met earlier, that quiet awareness, which is the real you. Remember, you are not these layers. You are the consciousness using them. The body and the mind are instruments, and you are the musician. The whole point is to tune the instruments and play them with skill, not to be enslaved by them or to smash them into obedience. An aligned person is not at war with themselves. They are at peace with themselves and pointed in one direction. Those are very different states, and only one of them lasts. So now the obvious question arrives: aligned toward what? Point everything in one direction, yes, but which direction? And here the teachers say something that changes the whole game. Alignment is far easier, almost natural, when the goal is truly your own. when it flows from your own deep nature rather than from someone else's expectations. The old word for this is svadharma, your own path, the direction that belongs to your particular nature. There is an old teaching that sounds strange at first, but is deeply wise. It says, it is better to walk your own path imperfectly than to walk someone else's path perfectly. Because when you pursue a goal that fits your nature, all of your layers want to cooperate. The body, the emotion, the deep self, all of them recognize it and lean in. But when you chase a goal that is not truly yours, a goal you adopted to impress people or to follow the crowd, part of you will always quietly resist, and you will never get that laser alignment, no matter how hard you push. So discovering what is genuinely yours is not a luxury. It is the foundation of the whole thing. How do you find it? The teachers offer several doorways. The first is stillness. In meditation, the noise of other people's expectations quiets down, and the faint voice of your own nature can finally be heard. The second is to examine your own joy and pain honestly. Look at the moments that lit you up with energy and the moments that drained the life out of you. Those are not random. They are signposts pointing at your nature. The third is to write down what you most deeply value: freedom, creativity, knowledge, love, service, and imagine a life built around those. The fourth is simply to try, to take a real step towards something that calls you and feel how your whole being responds. When you are on your true path, even the hard parts carry a strange sense of rightness. When you are off it, even success feels hollow and heavy. Pay attention to that feeling. It is one of the most honest instruments you own. And there is one more thing about purpose that I want to leave you with, because it brings real peace. Purpose has levels. Yes, you may have specific goals in the world, a craft to master, something to build, a family to raise. Those are real and worth pursuing wholeheartedly. But underneath all of them runs a deeper purpose that every tradition points to: the unfolding and the waking up of your own consciousness. And the beautiful thing is that your worldly path, when walked with awareness, becomes the very road to that deeper one. You do not have to choose between living fully in the world and growing inwardly. Done consciously, each one feeds the other. So that is alignment. Gather your scattered self into one beam. Bring body and mind and emotion and energy into the same direction. Do it not by force, but by harmony, under the quiet guidance of the witness, and point all of it toward a goal that is truly your own, so that every layer of you leans in. When you live this way, you stop being diffused light. You become a focused, undivided force, and life begins to respond to focused, undivided people. We have now finished building the inner architecture. From the next lecture, we step back out into the visible world, and we learn to design the structures around us, the environment, the habits, the work, the relationships. Please subscribe.